OG Crunkster.
And today we are on episode 42 of the OG podcast. And we got a bunch of topics we're going to talk about today. Some rumors, some Twitch stuff. We're just going to, go all bounce around. You know how we do. We go on the fly because we're pretty fly.
Yep.
Um, but without further ado, how about you tell us how your week was?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was sick most of the week.
Oh, man.
I the day after we did the podcast last week, which would have been last Thursday, I just started like getting a mad cold, sneezing like almost all the time. I mean, I even went to work sneezing on the phones and stuff. Like it was really bad. So I ended up calling to work Friday. Just sat on my butt and just drank like gallons of orange juice and took some meds. And I was pretty much better by about Sunday.
Nice.
So I didn't do any videos at all. I just chilled, relaxed. Matter of fact, I watched a lot of videos where, you know how when you're playing a game and there's like cinematics or whatnot in the game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, what me and the woman did was we watched like some old Final Fantasies games, but we just watched the cutscene because they actually put it on YouTube where you can just watch the cutscene every time something happens, and it's kind of cool because when you're watching, at least the ones where there's actually voice acting and stuff like that, it
Mm-hmm.
actually looks like a movie. Like it's actually kind of legit. Like, I
Oh,
thought that was actually pretty cool the way they did that. Um, so we watched a couple of Final Fantasies like that, and then we also watched what's called a recapitation, which basically means somebody explains the story to whatever game that or whatever RPG that they're talking
nice.
about. They don't go into like the whole secrets or nothing like too major. They just go over the basic story premise. So we watched that too. It was pretty cool, but not as interesting as the movie version of each game that we were watching. So that was pretty legit. But other than that, I mean, honestly, because I was so sick, I really didn't do a whole lot. So it was kind of one of those weeks where I just literally just chilled for a bit.
Oh, that's cool. What's up, Ghost? Welcome to the stream, man. And no, you a punk, cause I tried inviting you to the game last night, and yeah, you didn't come. But it's okay. Me and my homeboy, we got in the top three. Shout outs to DB and the squad we was running with last night. We were playing Fortnite last night on Twitch.
Fortnite.
Yeah, full. I love that game. Oh my god, it is like literally pulled me away from Call of Duty. But we'll talk about that more later. But then
Nice.
I hope I'm glad you're doing better. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better. And so you just pretty much chilled, huh? Just chilled for the week.
Yeah, I just had to chill for the week. I mean, when you're sick, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, my week's been pretty crazy. I got some. I haven't been able to talk to you about this yet, and I've had some pretty dramatic news. Well, you know how my wife was getting the promotion,
Yeah, I
and
just had to chill for the
we
week.
were
I mean,
gonna
when you're
be
sick.
moving to Austin, and all this stuff. Yo, we got a new
Yeah.
follower. Let's go. My mic is low because I'm away from the mic. It's not low. I'm actually away from the mic. And I just moved it. Um. So anyway, we were moving. We were supposed to, my wife got the promotion. We were supposed to be moving to Austin and stuff. Well, apparently, um, the company that my wife works for, I told you this a while back how they lost their contract with Medicaid.
Sure.
Uh, because I'm moving back and forth, goes quit being picky. Um. Anyway, so um. Anyway, so I told you how they lost the company a while back lost the contract with
Medicaid,
Medicaid.
yeah.
Right. So, well, come to find out, like the company still owes Medicaid, and they were on a payment plan with Medicaid, um,
Mm.
which is not good, because you know how Medicaid is. Medicaid, I mean, off record, they can be kind of ugly sometimes, and that's just a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, they decided to say screw it and take all the money. So as of yesterday, the company nationwide has decided to close down. So
Oh wow.
so once the contract is up, which will be in 30 days, my wife has no job.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So that's been pretty much my my week. Just dealing with that. I mean, of course, I've been gaming, I've been streaming, and everything like that. But yeah, it's just been crazy. On a funnier note, I go
Mm-hmm.
to go to the restroom, right? And the toilets, my daughter decides to break the toilet in our bathroom, so I go to use her toilet, not knowing that the nuts were loose on each side of the toilet. You know how you put
Uh-oh.
okay, and I go to sit down on the toilet, and when I go to sit down on the toilet,
That seat fell apart, didn't it?
not the whole toilet fell apart.
Oh man.
So I ended up falling in between the bathtub and the toilet, and
Mm-mm-mm.
luckily my daughter was home and she got me unstuck.
Nice.
But the funny thing was, and I could say this completely now because she's at school. The most funny part of it was when my wife came home. She told my wife, "Daddy broke my toilet and it really pissed me off."
Wow.
Yeah, so she got in trouble for saying that, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it was I was trying so hard not to laugh because she used it in the right context. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and I don't cuss like that, so I don't know where she got it from. Probably from a streamer that
Mm.
I watch. Yo yo yo! Thank you for that host. Who did they say that host? Oh, thank you for that host. Appreciate you. Uh, I can't say that name. Legrill. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Legrill? I don't know. I apologize, but thank you so much for that host. Um. So yeah, like, um, yeah. So that was pretty much that part, and then, of course, I did a lot of gaming. I kind of steered away from doing the uh. Oh, is your girl? Okay, thank you, Ghost. Um, I kind of steered away from doing the Destiny videos. Don't know why. I just haven't been like really feeling it. Um,
Okay.
so I was doing some other videos, and then of course the streaming. Streaming's been going good. Been playing a lot of Fortnite. And trying to stay away from the whole NFL issue. Um, to be honest, we're not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna just say my piece on it. Both parties are wrong and both parties are out of order. That's all I gotta say about the whole people standing down or sitting, taking a knee during the national anthem of the football games and any sport events. I feel like both parties are out of order and has no business being in sports. Period. That's just my opinion on it. But other than that, man, just been chilling, trying to trying to figure out what's gonna happen. My wife is actually thinking about if the other companies that like don't lease our companies hire my wife, which are in Austin or whatever. My wife
Mm-hmm.
might actually go apply over at your company.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, she actually talked about it. She's all, let Dwight know that it's pretty sure probably gonna happen now. And I was like, cool, I'll let him know. So I'm letting you know.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Gail is another work for girl. I mean, I think it's disrespectful to the flag and the country. No, it is. I totally agree with that. But again, it has no right to be done in the football field because it sends a mixed message to a lot of people. And not only that, but it sends a mixed message to children that don't understand the situation. And then you gotta explain it to your child, but you're not explaining the full thing. You're just explaining your side of it to your child. So your child is automatically gonna favor your side because you're mama or daddy, and they're gonna end up doing the same thing at school. and it just sends the wrong message all the way around. You know, and that's why I said, like, that's like me talking about the presidential. That's like me talking like having a whole 2-hour debate on a gaming on a presidential, having a 2-hour debate, a presidential debate on a gaming podcast. That makes absolutely no sense. There's no place for it. There's no place for democracy in our country. Not the battle, not the fight, to be done with. To be done on a football field, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure OG agrees with that, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't really know of the situation in all reality because I honestly haven't been watching football in like a couple of years now. I kind of just, my interest kind of faded from it.
mm-hmm,
So I just didn't know. And then most of the people I know that watch football, I don't really chill with much anymore.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is literally the first time I've been exposed to it.
Really?
Uh,
Okay, well then let me drop some knowledge on you real quick. So
I thought you were going to talk about
I
it.
wasn't, but you don't know nothing about it. Okay, so let me drop some knowledge on you real quick. Alright. Okay, so people last year were talking about how, like, they're not gonna do the whole Pledge of Allegiance national anthem thing. They're taking the knee. Okay, it was a big old thing last year, and then all of a sudden people started doing it again this year. But Donald Trump decided to open his mouth and cause some big controversy, because that's what Donald Trump likes to do. Keeps him relevant. He decided to say that any player that decides to take a knee on the field and not respect the national anthem should be fired. Now, what does that do? What does that do? That makes everybody mad. So now everybody is doing it for the wrong reasons because they don't like what Trump said. See what I'm saying? So you've caused a political debate in a football field that had nothing to do with football. This has nothing to do with sports. Okay? And I mean, if I'm gonna be like quite honest about the whole situation, people say, well, it is a uniform and people should blah 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 blah. Well, if I'm gonna be real about sports, I think it's disrespectful that a sports player gets paid more than a soldier, and that a sports player gets more taken care of than the United States Army and then the United States vets. So don't get me started about the whole, well, it's a uniform and it should be respected, because if we're gonna really think about that, that means a football uniform is more respected in some cases, financially in a value. It is more respected than the U.S. uniform,
Military uniform.
military uniform. Yeah, and I think that's stupid. You got freaking football players making $80 million while our soldiers are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like I said before people come in here and start weighing their own opinions, like I said in the beginning, I believe both parties are wrong, and I believe that it should take no place on a football field. And I feel like if we're gonna talk about America, and if we're gonna talk about football in America and war and all this stuff, then how about we cut the football player's salary and give the football player's salary to the vets? How about we give it back to the people that are actually fighting? Because you know what's funny? You don't hear none of the vets or none of the people that are really, really, like, you don't hear none of the people out there complaining right now. All you hear complaining are football people and sports fanatics, and it's stupid. It's stupid. It's the most stupid. It bothers the crap out of me. It bothers the crap out of me.
I agree with you there.
Yeah. It bothers the crap out of me that the headline right now is freaking football people sitting down on freaking the national anthem. like, yes, it's disrespectful. I get it, but football has nothing to do with us fighting for our freedom, and they're stupid for. I mean, in all reality, like you want to make a difference, go make a difference. Don't follow a trend. I understand you're trying to stand up for your rights, but if we really want to stand up for our rights, all of us deserve to be in hell right now. That's our right. By biblical right, we all deserve to be in hell right now, but Jesus decided to die for us, so we don't have to live by that right. So keep fighting for our rights and see what happens. But you know, I'm just being real, and you know, it's crazy. It's really crazy that you know, we sitting here arguing. You know, well, we're not arguing. We're sitting here. People are debating about this, but yet, like, people don't realize that you can't go to any other country and make $80 million playing sports. You can't. You can't. There's nowhere in any other country you can go pay $80 million, get paid $80 million, $20 million, maybe $100,000 a game, and get paid to play. Not even soccer gets paid that much. And soccer's a world sport.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's you say you can't hear. Oh, well, I mean, but still, the point is that, you know, it's just dumb all the way around. Both parties are wrong, and it shouldn't have been took to a sports. If you have a disrespect, if you disrespect what the president is, or you don't like what the president is doing, tough titty, said the big fat kitty. He's only there for 4 years. It's like when we were in high school, right? We all had that teacher we didn't like. But guess what? We just like, you know what? We only have this teacher for 1 more year or 4 more years, and we're good. And it's a done deal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Get over it. Don't take it to the football field, because you're just causing confusion. You're just causing major confusion. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I had to drop some knowledge on OG. I'm sorry.
That happens. It does. But I'm not gonna really go into it myself. I mean, now I'm not really into the whole like kneeling during the football game or anything like that. I mean, if I'm gonna get on my knees, it's only because I'm A, trying to get up, or B, doing it for God, and that's about it.
Yeah.
No one else deserves it.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much my piece on it. So I'm coming from a different perspective, but that's just me.
And really, and honestly, like, it doesn't sound unpatriotic, but it really, like, I'm just said it to just talk about it, but in all reality, it doesn't really, like, affect me. Like, I'm just, like, I don't get mad, I don't get upset about it. I just get, I'm more upset that here we got, like, freaking people dying from freaking 7.1 earthquakes and all this drama, all these things going on, around the world. And this is like the national headline. That's what pisses me off. That's what makes me mad. Other than that, like, from a biblical standpoint, this doesn't bother me because I knew these days were coming. Oh, and by the way, we survived. For all you people that try to decode the Bible and say that the world was going to end on the 26th, it didn't end.
Yeah, I never listen to people who say stuff like that. I mean, there's been many times where the world was supposed to end, in quotation marks. So, yeah.
Those
never listen to people who say that.
Those are people that don't read the Bible completely. Because it says in the Bible, you won't know when the day comes. Not even Jesus knew the day. So, yeah. But anyway, that's some knowledge. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the show. That was my week, though, man. Pretty much my week.
Yeah, a very interesting week you had. Football and all.
Football and all, yeah. And but I did win my fantasy football game this week. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Congrats.
I didn't even put the right people in, which is weirdly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put the wrong people in and I still won.
Okay. Well, for those who do not know, just leading into the first topic, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's something we kind of knew about. I just have a specific date now for this. So we've been kind of off and on talking about the multiplayer for Final Fantasy expansion for Final Fantasy 15,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually dropping October 31st of 2017. That's a
On
specific
Halloween?
date.
That's weird.
Yeah, which I found kind of weird.
Well,
But
trick or
whatever, you
treat,
know.
mother truckers.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's the date that's going to be starting. So, for those of you that are really hype about the multiplayer for Final Fantasy 15, go ahead and jump on that hype train. I'm not really going to. I'm not. I'm not going to lie. I'm just. It doesn't really interest me, to be honest.
I was gonna say it really doesn't interest me either, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I have to bring it up because I mean, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. But the other reason I'm bringing it up too is I'm not sure if I brought this up in the past, but there's a reason that I believe that there's so many spin-offs and so many expansions and everything going on with the game, and I believe it's because the game is just too short. For anyone who's actually ever played Final
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy 15, the original one for PS4 or other systems that it may have come out on, you'll have learned if when you finish the game that it's not a very long game at all. It really isn't. Like that's probably my biggest criticism of the game is the fact that the story is way too short. They basically force you to do in-game content and hunts and multiplayer stuff, online stuff, expansions of other games to make the game seem like it's longer, but it's not. I like the story. I think the story is that it does tell a really good story of a story about strong friendships. The whole romance part of it was a little bit of a miss in my opinion. I mean, it was a tragedy,
But
but
yeah,
it's I don't know. Honestly, Final Fantasy VIII did a better job. I'm not even a fan of that game. Put it to you that way. But anyway, it's just one of those games that had a good story. They should have
yo
just
yo
did
yo,
more.
crew dog, thank you for that host. But go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
They should have absolutely did more in towards of the story, and that's why the game is so short. Like if you were to cut out all of the side quests, I mean, anyone could probably beat the game in less than a day. Like when I said that in the podcast, so many episodes back, when I think I could probably speed run this game, it wasn't me bragging. I honestly think anybody could speed run this game in probably a day if they were not to do all the extra
The
side
side
quests and
quest.
stuff. Because the
Yeah.
side quests are just a distraction to make it seem like the game is so long when it's not. Not saying that they should not have had side quests because every good RPG has side quests. It's just that the story should have been longer, and I believe this is exactly why you're seeing all these spinoffs to kind of make up for that.
Why do you think? Like, why do you? Okay, so my next question to you is, why do you think they made the game
Mhm.
so short? Like, do you think it's because it was too much graphic? And it
I
was
don't think the graphics had anything to do with it. You have to understand that this was supposed to be a completely different game at one time.
mm,
Um, Originally, this was supposed to be Final Fantasy Versus 13. So it was actually originally a 13 spinoff, of what it was going to be. And then, of course, they realized that that was a bad idea. And I'm glad that they scrapped that idea. And then they more or less redid everything. And I mean, the character is still the same for the most part. It's just that they had to, from what I understand, I could be completely off on this because I didn't do too much research on that.
mm-hmm.
But from my understanding, it's just that because of the fact that they had to make so many changes, that it's not really as complete as it should be. And of course, you have deadlines. I mean, they always talk about how it took 10 years to make the game, but within those 10 years to make the game, they had to backtrack a lot.
I would say they had. It
So
sounded like they had to like. It took 5 years to make one game, and then they had to retrack, and then 5 years to
yeah,
make the
and
other
the
game.
other five to backtrack and fix all the problems.
Cause yeah,
So, and I think that could be part of it because, like I said, I have nothing really against the story so much. I mean, I actually like the story; it tells a good story. It just wasn't
right.
long enough. There's more that they could have expanded on. There's more that they could have explained, and that's why you're seeing all these spinoffs.
Definitely, definitely. Well, speaking of Final Fantasy 15, uh, just a little side quest. We're gonna venture on a little side quest. Um,
Hmm.
Final Fantasy 9's out for the PS4, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm hoping to get it soon. I don't know when because money's tight, but I have every intention of getting it.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
me too.
one day
Yeah, me
get the.
too.
Oh, you're gonna do it too, huh?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a playthrough on YouTube. I actually had somebody request me to do a playthrough stream on Persona 5, but
Oh, Persona 5.
yeah,
Wow.
but I told him my only contingent is when I do this, you must be at the stream at all times, because it's not. I mean, it's far from my audience. I don't mind doing it because I'm an entertainer, and plus, for those that don't know, I actually got you into Persona. You remember that?
Yeah,
I had
I
Persona
believe it
2.
was the second Persona. I
Yeah,
believe was
Persona 2.
what we got into. Yeah,
Persona 2.
and then on top of that, I've actually watched the anime. For those that are in anime, they have a Persona 4 anime on Crunchyroll, and I'm sure some people bootleg it because that's just a big thing these days.
Yeah.
But I try to watch anime legitimately.
Respect the
So
anime.
yeah, I figured, if they're gonna bring us good content, so much to get paid for, and it's
Right.
not really expensive. I only pay like $7 a month to have Crunchyroll. But anyway,
That's
and
not bad.
you don't even really have to pay for it. I just pay
No.
for it just 'cause I want to support them. That's my charity, so to speak. But anyway, yes, I've played the games, I've seen the anime, and honestly, I think it's interesting. It's really, really different. It
Yeah.
really is. The Persona series in general, it's very different. Sometimes it can feel kind of dark, but I think it's just more of the atmosphere. But it's really, really interesting story. The combat is different. Like it took me a while to kind of understand and get used to, but it's not bad at all.
No.
So I mean, if you're
Definitely.
RPG fans, totally check out Persona 5. I've actually been hearing lots of good things
Me
about it in
too. Me
general.
too. Me too.
Some people think it's probably the best game of the year kind of scenario, like at least a good candidate. So it's pretty strong, it seems. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, good
Yeah.
on you.
Definitely. So, I mean, that's probably gonna be next on my list, only
Hmm.
because a viewer requested it.
Yeah,
I'm all about a viewer requesting a game. Why? Um, some people say it's a sellout. I don't say that. I say it's about building relationships with your viewers. That's why I have viewers, and that's why I have the viewers that keep coming back. Not because I see them as a viewer, but I build relationships with them. In fact, if there's a viewer that I know that I haven't seen in a while in the chat, and I have a way of contacting them, I contact them and I say, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything all
hmm,
right?" You know what I mean? Especially if I know if there's a storm in the area or something like that. I check on my viewers. I check on my people, man.
that's cool,
I
man.
love my people. Relationship. It's all about relationship.
It
Um,
sure is.
but yeah. So um,
I
if go ahead.
I don't think that you would be considered selling out though, because selling out would mean that somebody is paying you to promote something, and no one's really paying you to do this. You're
That's very
just
true.
doing this out of the kindness of your heart for someone who requested it. That's all.
That's very true. Good point. So for you guys that drop a little knowledge, if you are looking into buying Final Fantasy 9, if you have PlayStation Plus, which I do, Final Fantasy 9 is only $16. If you don't have PlayStation Plus, it is $20. So if you want it and you got a PlayStation Plus, you might want to get that $4 discount. I'm thinking about getting it. Well, I was really thinking about getting it sooner, but now that my wife lost she's still getting paid right now, but I'm just saving up just in case moments.
That's smart. Yeah,
Yeah, now this is going against what I say. I don't like using streamer money towards personal stuff,
personal stuff.
but this is
Yeah,
kind of like an emergency. So it's kind of different. So you know, I'm just
you
I'm
never know. You gotta
yeah.
survive too.
Yeah, I'm thankful. The one thing that I gotta say I'm thankful about, even though I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty frustrated with God because of the situation, or with
Hmm.
God. I talked to him about it and I told him I was frustrated, but I'm blessed that we didn't move, because it would have sucked if like right when we moved and she lost, and they decided to shut down. That would have really
Yeah,
sucked.
that would have been really weird.
So God showed me that, and I was like really thankful. Then I was at peace with it, and I was like, okay, God. He was like, so you see, you were mad at me, but I had your back, and I was like, Yeah, you right. Yo!
That's funny.
I am Ski. Welcome. Thank you for that sub, man. New sub. Let's go. Thank you so much, my brother. Oh, wow. First sub during the podcast. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. And a new sub, too. Let's
Even
go.
better.
Even better. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
It's the first time for everything, you know?
Yeah, for real. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I'm Ski. I'm Zinky. I'm Zinky. I don't know why I keep saying your name. The silent sub.
I am Zinky.
I am Zinky. And you subbed just in time. So the sub was half off because it is September.
Oh, nice.
So you only
September.
September. So you only had to pay $2.99, which is really
Nice.
cool. Which is really cool. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you so much, bro. So yeah. So what we're gonna go into is my story. My main story is I'm gonna drop some Twitch knowledge real quick. They're slowly doing what we talked about in a couple episodes ago about how they're getting rid of the third party stuff. The way you can do this, and I slowly accidentally found this out, but if you guys go into your dashboard, you're gonna see something new in your Twitch area called Twitch extensions. And these extensions, well, they can benefit you and they can benefit the streamer. One of the extensions I'm using right now is a cheer leaderboard, and you guys get to see, you know, who's like the top cheer of the all time, top cheer of the week, top cheer of the month, all kinds of stuff, right? But now this is where the rumor's gonna come in. This is strictly rumor, but I haven't seen the contract yet myself, but there is evidence of it. Now Twitch has their own music player. Now there's an actual extension you can install. All these are just like, it's like Google Chrome extensions. It's the same exact thing, but it's for Twitch. So what this means is they want you to use their music player. And from what I've heard from new partners, not affiliates, but what I've heard from new partners is, and from people getting partnered, is that you must use Twitch extensions. You can no longer use third-party stuff anymore. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. Why? Because, you know, Twitch gets more control. You know, so they can control how much music, or not how much music, but what music is played. I don't know necessarily. I have yet to use it. I'm actually tempted to using it only for one reason, because I'm having problems with my music bot. For anybody that's using Stream Elements, if you're listening right now, who knows if you're listening right now, apparently I got people listening to me that I don't even know. So that's freaking crazy. But if you are listening to Stream Elements, there is something wrong with your music bot. Every time like I go to play the music, and somebody requests, I have to restart the music bot for the request to actually take effect. The request goes in, but it doesn't stick until I restart it. So
sounds inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient. So I'm thinking about changing it, and I'm thinking about using one of the Twitch bots, or the Twitch things. See how it is, see what restrictions it has. But if it does, I am Zinky. Your YouTube content is really good, but I feel like you deserve a lot more recognition for your hard work. I think working on your description tags could help you a lot. What I sort of mean is producing good content is one thing, and making it. Thank you. I definitely appreciate it, and I thank you for your criticism. And I'm gonna tell you what, I really agree with you. I honestly agree with you. To be honest with you, the main reason why I don't put a lot of tags in my videos, especially with the podcast videos, is because we don't know what we're gonna talk about. We do this on the fly. Like, we're really just freestyling the episode. We don't sit here and we don't like draw out a demo board and talk about, okay, we should talk about this or we should talk about that. Me and OG, we just feed off each other, right, OG?
It makes them more natural, more interesting. As far as it being kind of unpredictable, because you get to hear our reactions to things that we may not even know anything about. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly.
He brings random knowledge, and so I might bring some random knowledge, and it just makes the episode overall better for us. It's kind of just our style of it.
Right.
But I mean, he has a good idea, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
So
like, if we were the type to, for example, plan out what we were going to talk about, then yeah, we could have all kinds of tags about whatever subject it is, for the fun of it. But it would take away from how we do it if we completely planned it all out too.
right, no, definitely. And as for my other videos, I do put tags in them, Zinky. But I just put the wrong tags. But I definitely encourage you to keep hold me accountable, and I definitely appreciate your honesty, and I definitely appreciate your content or your comment, not your content, but your comment about my content. Very much appreciative. It keeps me going.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yes, very much. Thank you, Zinky, so much. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about it. I don't know if Twitch is going to fully take over. They might fully take over donations too. That's rumor. If they do, boy, it is what it is. But just know that that Twitch will, if they do decide to do that, they will take a percentage. Twitch likes to take a percentage of everything. It's
That's
just
how they make money.
That's how they roll.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But without further ado, I just wanted to drop that knowledge on you guys about Twitch. If anybody is partnered, or if anybody's about to get partnered, and you trust me, per se, please send me over the contract, because I would like to read it over, just to see if that is the case. Because like I said, that's rumor, but I have no way of reading it myself because I'm not a partner. I want to be partnered one day, but it's all in God's time. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move on. OG, what else you got for us, man?
Well, since you mentioned it, next topic, we're going to go over something that I've seen a little bit of, but I think it's becoming more of a topic these days. So, you know how we're always critiquing games off and on, and lots of people do it. Once a game comes out, we talk about our opinions of it, things like that. Well, some people are kind of going too far, not as far as criticizing a game when it releases, but being overcritical of a game before it releases. And this is kind of something you've talked about off and on about here and there, because, you've always been the kind of person to say that, never trust what you see on the beta, things like that.
Right. Don't trust the beta.
Don't trust the beta. Well, apparently this has become a heated topic these days. Like, game developers are getting to the point to where they don't even really want to share what's going on in their game publicly because of the over criticism of the gamers themselves, or us players. We're to the point right now where, we're just kind of going too far and saying you need to stop this, you need to stop that. And, and honestly, it's not even our place. And the reason I say that is because the majority of us that talk about how we feel about games have no idea what it takes to actually create a game. We don't understand the coding at all.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, my girlfriend, she used to take online courses about coding, and she says it's a very tedious process when you're coding, and all that stuff that you're seeing happening, like all the motions and all the dialogue, what happens after something connects. I mean, this is all code that is a very long, tedious, lengthy process on top of everything else that goes into making a game. and then we're complaining about some, minor stuff about what we're seeing in a beta. That's just stupid. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like,
right.
one, it's not done, and two, that you're really criticizing somebody's life work over knowledge you know nothing about. Like, let's just be for real. I mean, for me to say something about the story that I may not like, okay, that's fine, because one, the game is out, it's already finished, and I've watched it, so that's kind of stuff is okay. But when a game is like still in creation and we're talking about what they should be doing graphically and what they should be doing here and there, it's just unnecessary, because again, it's not done, and it takes a lot of work. I mean, these are people who dedicate their lives to do the tedious work that you don't know how to do, and you probably don't want to do because of how tedious and boring it might be. So I honestly think, as gamers and as players, we need to respect people that do this kind of work, because it is
Definitely,
work. It
definitely,
legitimately is work. So,
definitely.
I just kind of wanted to bring that out there, because it's, like I said, it's something that's been talked about. The developers are asking, should we even like tell anybody about our games before they release, besides beta and stuff like that. And I'm to the point right now where I think they should just keep it hush hush, like some companies do already.
Definitely,
Just let it
definitely.
be in between the developing companies, so they can help each other, and then let the voices start happening when the beta drops, and then when the actual game drops itself. And remember, even if a beta drops, it's still not the complete version, so be careful what you say.
Definitely, definitely. No, Zinky, you are definitely right, my friend. Actually, that is on Twitch's air. I actually updated the title and put I normally put the title, and I did put the title, but it just didn't take. So if Crew Dog, if he's not away from a computer, he is an editor on my Twitch page. If you could please change that, man, that would be awesome. I don't know why it didn't take. I hit update and everything. Sometimes Twitch airs like that, and it screws things up. But yes, thank you. Good looking out, Zinky, because I just checked it myself. Good looking out, man. I like Zinky. Zinky, you are on your way of being a mod, my friend. You're on the way of being a mod, because you're very observant, sir. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely agree. We didn't have, back in the day, we didn't have people being this opinionated, and we didn't have betas like this. And if we did have people testing betas, they were paid for, and they were in a room privately, and they signed a disclosed letter, I
The
believe.
closure, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're a game tester, the what you're doing as a game tester is you are playing the game and just showing what bugs are in the game that can be fixed in progress. You're not giving your opinion about the story or anything like that. You're saying, hey, in this level, in this part, we noticed that when this person goes to this area, he gets stuck on a wall. So what happens is once they realize what's going on, they go in and recode that particular sections to prevent that from happening. Now, will I say that um, testers have missed stuff? Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Because I mean, if testers didn't miss stuff, you wouldn't have like all these speed gamers breaking it. And the funny thing about speed gamers is, I feel like speedrunners should probably be beta testers, because they're the ones that are literally showing all the bugs in the game, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
they're
definitely.
like accidental beta testers, and they don't even realize it.
I feel like beta testers and testers are obsolete now. I feel like, oh, we'll just send it online to the masses, and everybody can just, they could pay a fee, and they can test the beta, closed beta, and we'll just make money off people's opinions instead of facts.
Yeah.
That really don't know nothing about the game, because here's the thing, right? I believe, again, I don't know, but I believe there is a standard that the gaming community has to follow as far as makers go, or as
Hmm.
engines go. I believe they can only go so far and do only so much code before it's like out of standard. And to bring it into more layman's terms, into perspective of what I'm talking about, is, yes, we could all do amazing things with our cars and make them crazy, but for them to be licensed on the road, they have to follow a specific standard to be able to be drivable on the highway or to be sold as a vehicle. And if they do not meet them standards, then it's an invalid vehicle. And I'm almost certain that the gaming industry or gaming creators or whatever you want to call it, they follow the same kind of code. And I guarantee you, a lot of us, we don't know that code. I know I don't know that code. You don't know that code.
Nope.
So we don't know the limitations that they deal with on a daily-to-day basis. And we don't know what
That's
those,
true.
and we don't know what it costs to break those limitations. We don't know what it takes to exceed past them limitations, you know, because I'm pretty sure we could do amazing thing with some video games, but it would seem unfair to the competition. Not saying that there's not things that are unfair to the competition, but it keeps it to where almost a leveling playing field, but keeps it competitive. So I don't know. I would definitely agree with you on that. You know, people are going too crazy, and it's making the gaming industry insecure.
Oh yeah.
And you know, a woman don't like an insecure man. So,
There you go.
you gaming creators, y'all need to step up your game, or you gonna still be unmarried because you're insecure. You gotta stand strong with your game, man. Stand strong with your game. If you fail, oh well, you can bail out and make another game. You know.
Exactly. A game should be what the game developers wanted it to be. The only reason that we need tester is just to fix the bugs of the creation so that the game can be released the way you want it. That's all it is. Once the game comes out, then let it be up to the public to determine if they like it or not. Because if you're just catering to all the fans before the game even comes out, then the game is no longer yours.
No,
You see what I'm saying? It's hard to say, this is my game, this is how I envisioned it, when in all reality, all you did was just, do what a bunch of fans told you to do that really didn't know what your thought was to begin with.
Prime example, Madden. Okay. Madden does its own thing. Madden does not cater to the fans. Granted, there's a reason why I don't play Madden, because it's the same stuff over and over and over again. There's not really much you can do with it, but they don't care. They're gonna keep putting out the IP. I honestly think it's time to retire Madden. I honestly think it's time to give football to another company. I think we should give I think 2K should get another stab at football, because before 2K was making good basketball games. I remember when 2K came out, right when the Dreamcast came out, and they tried to make a football game and it failed. But now they're the number one basketball game in the world. Like, there's literally new NBA Live's trying to make a comeback, and it's failing. Now, granted, I've heard some bad things about NBA 2K18, but I won't get into that now. But my point is that EA, they stick to their guns when it comes to Madden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I honestly think Madden should just retire, and go to somewhere else, because it's, to me, even with this new franchise of the whole story mode, I feel like it's trying to copy 2K and be this in-depth story mode. But I feel, and I've pretty much watched the story. Because again, my boy Big Timer, that I watch all the time, he does playthroughs, and he did a playthrough of Madden, and I can honestly say that it's not that great to me. It's not. It's just not. It's almost as bad as a career mode in a WWE game, and that's not good. So I don't know. Again, now here's my next question to you. Since you say that, would you say that it's fair for a game, because it's going to go into my next segment of what I want to talk about, would you say that it's fair to a game for them to change their whole, well, no, they add another game mode to the game to make it, let's see, they add a more popular game mode to the game to make their game like relevant now because their game wasn't relevant to begin with. Like the game is still the game, but they add another game mode to it to be more relevant to what's popular now.
I guess it depends on the kind of game it is. So, for example, if it's a shooter game, and let's say all you had was free for all, but now you want to add like King of the Hill, small things like that is okay. So, I mean, I don't really see an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really a case by case basis on that scenario. And now that I actually thought about it, it actually kind of coincides with what I talked about earlier when we were mentioning Final Fantasy 15. How I
Mm-hmm.
said that it felt like they were backtracking. Maybe part of the problem in their developing, which may have affected the short story, was the fact that they were catering too much to people during production, which ended up lowering the overall quality of the game. I just now realize that there could be a direct correlation with that,
Mm-hmm.
because something that Square Enix has been doing a lot lately has been changing their games based off of a lot of the fan feedback, and of course this all started with Final Fantasy 13 because
Mm-hmm.
everybody was like complaining, which is why they had to make a sequel that was completely different to try to shut them up. But at the same time, all it really ended up doing was confusing the story hardcore, making it overcomplicated just for the sake of pleasing people who complained about the first one, which I think honestly they should not have done that. I
No.
think that they should have just left 13 the way it was. It was actually fine the way it was, and not overcomplicate the series by adding a bunch of games to try to cater to everyone that was complaining about it not being open world enough and too much narrow hallways and quotation mark and all that mess. And that right there is the result of developers listening to fans during production. Is you come out with games with less quality because of the fact that you were listening to people too much that don't know nothing about enough about the industry.
Right.
You know what I
You didn't
mean?
you didn't stay committed to your idea, so instead of
Yeah, so
like
therefore you flopped.
yeah, so you didn't put all your ingredients together. Um, I mean, see, yes and yes, I'm talking about Fortnite, and honestly, Fortnite is my favorite game right now. It's beating to me. I enjoy Fortnite better than Destiny 2, and Destiny 2 has more to offer than Fortnite, but I enjoy the competitive aspect of it. But see, Fortnite was nothing like this, what it was supposed to be. Fortnite was about creating a base and killing killing a bunch of zombies and clearing the level. That's all it was about. And it was a four-player co-op. But now they decided, again, like you said, OG, they decided to create a King of the Hill aspect of it. Now that
Hmm.
there's a, not only now this is where Fortnite made history. Not only were they the first, not only did they make a Fortnite or a King of the Hill game of their game mode, but they were
Hmm.
the first to make a game like this for their caliber to this caliber for console, right? And then not
Okay.
only did they do this is where they really made history. They accidentally, quote unquote, they say, turned on the Switch for a day or two to where Xbox players could play with PS4 players and PC
Oh, I
players.
remember that.
Yes. And so PC players and Xbox players and PS4 players could all play together. So they made history there. Um,
Yeah.
and here's what they decided to do. After the 26th, they made the King of the Hill part of the game completely free for everybody on all
Well, that's
consoles.
cool.
On all consoles. Now,
Nice.
here's where it comes in to where my next segment is, and here I want to know your opinion. Now, granted, I'm not going to be talking about the logistics of it, the logistics of the technicality of the contract between Bluehole and Epic Games. Um, it's called Battle Royale, but for us old school gamers, it's actually called. It actually originated from King of the Hill. Um, so yeah, because it actually originated from, I believe, what, Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
Uh,
Perfect Dark was one of the first games to have King of the Hill. Yeah.
yeah, it was Perfect Dark. So that's why I say King of the Hill, because OG can relate to that better than battle royale, because when we say battle royale, we're thinking
Free for
SmackDown,
all.
free for all,
Yeah, I think it's SmackDown free for alls. Yeah,
free for alls.
every
Yeah.
man for himself.
Well, it is every man for himself in this game. You do have to go out and you do have to find your own weapons. But it's a free for all of 100 people.
Right.
Yeah. But again, like I said, it's just you better reference to King of the Hill. Anyway, so like I said, I'm not gonna get into the logistics of the contracts because this is my personal opinion and what I believe. So for those that don't know, Epic Games helped make. They had their hand in what you call the game called PUBG. And PUBG is also another King of the Hill battle royale, whatever you want to call type game. It's actually the game that didn't start the genre. It's the game that ignited the genre. It's the game that caught the genre fire. But now here's the twist. The game that really started the genre was King of the Hill. I mean, not King of the Hill, but King of the Kill on H1Z1. Now, here's the funny part. The maker, the guys that made PUBG, one of them stemmed from making. They actually had their hand. One person had their hand in making H1Z1. So they're all connected, right? Keep that in mind. They're all connected. But PUBG, and I'm just keeping this simple for people to understand. PUBG wants to sue Fortnite for stealing their game, apparently, or their idea. Now, mind you, their game, in my opinion, is completely different because you can actually build and destroy stuff. It is the only King of the Hill game, battle royale game, that you can actually do this in. But PUBG is saying, hey, you stole our idea, kind of, sort of. And I'm going to explain to you my opinion, what I think of it. But what do you think about that? That's crazy. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on the context of what they're exactly suing for. Are they just suing for the whole battle royale idea in general? And if that's the case, then there's no ground to stand on because many games have done that already.
Apparently, it's the engine. It's the engine because the Unreal Engine. Because I believe, yeah, the PUBG has the Unreal Engine, right, or something like that. Microsoft was doing it before H1Z1. Yeah, Microsoft was doing it before H1Z1 with Hunger Games. Well, and then, but they didn't have 100 players though. I'm talking about from the 100 player category. The H1Z1 and PUBG are like the only games that have 100 players at one time. I believe the Hunger Games and the curling you can only have 12. I could be mistaken. I know the curling you can only have 12. I could be wrong though. But it's something about the engine.
Soon, I don't know that. I don't know if they really have a leg to stand on. I mean, it's not. I mean, again, it's not a direct copy. I mean, there are just small tweaks here and there that make it their own game. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where gaming companies have come to these days. Is everybody's suing everybody because everything seems similar. We see this a lot in mobile gaming where everybody gets sued because everything looks alike. And honestly, it's just hard to sue for it because, well, at what point can you claim, exclusive rights to something?
Thank y'all for the
Especially when it's already been done.
20,
30, 40, 50, yep. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say who has the right to sue who over anything because, I mean, a lot of things have been done multiple times by multiple companies. It's just done in a new shell. And that's all this really is. It's just these two games happen to be doing strong things at the same time and doing similar things. Doesn't necessarily mean that one always copy the other. I mean, yeah, I understand that, someone might have a hand in both games, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, they were doing the same thing. It just might be someone who is more or less freelancing, trying to make some money. And as long as they don't release anything to the other party, he should be fine.
No,
and unless they can prove it that he did it, then they're okay. There's no lawsuit that's available.
Here's what I think happened. Right,
Hmm.
they are not going to win a lawsuit unless they can prove Fortnite was able to. Yeah, agreed. But here's what I think. Here's what I think did it. Fortnite is very different, but it has a few which are very similar, and I think. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I think Fortnite's more like H1Z1 than it is PUBG. I just think more people relate to PUBG because, like I said, PUBG's like the fire right now. But
Yeah, it's more popular.
I think H1Z1 and um, Fortnite are identical, and they even like if I'm gonna be real, if I'm gonna be 100% real and transparent with you guys, they even copied the same thing the way that H1Z1 came out. Because if y'all don't remember, H1Z1 wasn't even a battle royale game. H1Z1 was a survival game where you built your base and you protected your base, and you guys would have to go and like do all that kinds of stuff. And or same used the officially promote their game without. Okay, so they use their name. So Fortnite used PUBG's name to promote their name without promote their. They use PUBG's name to promote their game without their knowledge, but hold on. Like I said, that's why I said I wasn't gonna get into all the logistics because I think this is what I think. But hold on, let me finish my thought. Okay, so Fortnite is kind of like H1Z1 because when H1Z1 came out, it was a totally different game, and it was cool for a little bit, kind of like when Fortnite was. It was cool for a little bit, and then it like severely died down, and then all of a sudden they came out with their King of King of the Kill, as they call it, King of the Kill, right?
Okay.
And then so you bought the game and you got both game modes. And then they came out, oh well, guess what? Now you can buy it. Now we're gonna like make it where you can buy the game mode separately. And it's the same thing right here. It's the same thing right here. Now, but the only thing they did different is they made their King of the Kill free, and but if you want to play like the story mode of the game, like where you battle the zombies, you still pay the $30. Yeah, DB must be getting facts. I understand, but like I said, I'm gonna be giving my opinion right now. I'm not worried about the facts right now because the reason why I'm not worried about the facts is because I believe that whoever the name, I don't really like speaking names because I don't like them coming out at me. One day it will happen. I know, fact checker for Hendy. Yeah, I hear you. I believe that the reason why they did this is because PUBG and H1Z1 was like basically in a race to see who could come out with a console version of a King of the Hill game like this, like to this caliber, right? And Fortnite said, you know what? Haha, bitches, I beat y'all, and y'all didn't even see me coming. And not only did they do that, they said, you know what? Haha, bitches. And I'm sorry for cursing, but I gotta put like the smack on it. Haha, bitches, guess what? We're gonna make ours free. So instead of people having to pay to play your game, they could play ours for free on all platforms. On all platforms.
Pretty good slap in the face.
Yeah, it was pretty much a slap in the face. So I think what happened is PUBG was like, hey, call our attorney and you get your attorney and let's go through our contract and let's find a loophole where we can get these mud truckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that's how that went down. I honestly think that's exactly how it went down because they're like, these mud truckers are making us lose money and they're using I'm just mad. I'm just mad because I've already made $100 billion off this game and I want to be making more money off this game, and I'm just mad because I'm supposed to be the one making the history. You know what I'm saying? And as good fun as Fortnite, I I will still buy PUBG on Xbox. Honestly, whichever gives me a better experience. No, I definitely will. And you know what? I will buy H1Z1 when it comes out for console. And here's the reason why. I love the genre. I love this genre. This King of the Kill, whatever genre you want to call it, the survival genre. I love this genre more than Call of Duty. I don't know why. I like the adrenaline. I had so much adrenaline for DB last night, and I wasn't even playing. I was watching him play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was freaking amazing. It was amazing. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. There hasn't been a game that does that. Oh, Call of Duty does that, but it only does that when I watch pro players. Catch that. It only does that for me when I watch pro players. So, you know, to me, this game gives me that adrenaline rush that other games just can't give me. And I don't know, it's just something about that. And I'm not gonna lie. Have watched yeah, see what I'm saying? There's something about the game mode. And granted, there's gonna be more games coming out here like this. There was already a rumor that Call of Duty is gonna try and cash in on this genre. Now, granted, it's too late for them to cash in on it with World War II, and I think it would be stupid with World War II. But we might see something. We might see a game mode with Call of Duty when Treyarch has its turn. Now, what does that mean? I don't think it's going to be a full game of it. I think what they're going to do, honestly, in my opinion, I would prefer them to get rid of zombies and put that game mode in Call of Duty. Or what they'll probably do is they'll probably put their own spin on it with zombies in it. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Coke. Wait, what did you say? Coke slams Pepsi and vice versa. Advertise it all the time. Similar products and same targets audience, but the product themselves are different enough that there are no legal claims. Fortnite and PUBG are not similar enough. I agree. I totally agree with you, Boobies, and I totally agree. But you know, it goes back to what me and OG were saying last week. There's not enough law for the gaming industry. There's not enough gaming attorneys, people that really know and understand, because there are people that will go take these things to certain judges and they will just win because the judge doesn't know anything about gaming. It's actually documented somewhere that there's certain judges in certain states or whatever that if you go to that judge, they're most likely they're gonna favor the guy that's going for the suit. It's the reason why Nintendo's been sued three or four times for my opinion, wrong, for doing nothing wrong. But the judge felt that Nintendo did wrong. But in fact, we talked about it last week. Nintendo getting sued over their Wii controllers when the technology had nothing to do with gaming controllers. So,
well, people have to understand that just about everything in life is a rehash of something else. It happens in everything in the industry. For example, in music, you hear remixes all the time. You might not know it's a remix, but if you talk to people like maybe 10, 20 years older than you, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's just a remix from something Aerosmith did or something like that. That's just how everything is. And that's why it's really hard to sue for things like that, because just about everything has been done. It's just that anything new that comes out, someone else is going to do it anyway. They're just using it in a different light. And now because your butthurt that they actually found a cooler way to invent it than you did, you want to try to cash in on it. Yeah. That's really all it boils down to. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. PUBG's mad.
Like, I should be making money off that, not them. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you didn't have the idea first, so let them have their money because they did it right. You didn't. You know, accept your loss.
See, Booby, you should become a gaming attorney. Like, seriously. You should become a gaming attorney and go defend the people or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it is you do, but go help the people out because people win in false freaking lawsuits all the freaking time. I still haven't heard nothing about the whole if the who won the lawsuit with the Nintendo Switch yet. I'm still waiting to hear on that. For those that don't know, I give a little brief up. A company is trying to say that Nintendo stole their idea for the Nintendo Switch, or stole their like mobile idea for the Nintendo Switch, and they are trying to. Of course I get kicked from Twitch right after my post, so I didn't hear anything. Oh, my bad. You're gonna have to rewind, I guess. Rewind. Oh, but I was just saying you need to go be a lawyer for gamers. You need to go be a lawyer for gaming companies, attorney for gaming companies, because they need somebody that understands gaming and understands, how it works. But for those that don't know, Nintendo, the people are trying to get the Nintendo Switch stop being made because they say that the Nintendo Switch was stolen from another company, and this guy wants to just go and basically get it stopped from being made. And in all reality, he has nothing to stand on. But the track record is Nintendo's already been sued 3 times?
Something like that.
But and reality, there was no evidence. There was no real evidence of being copied. But the judge didn't understand, in my opinion, and he just let them win. Like, Nintendo's been how much money? It was like 120 million or something like that. It was a lot of million. It was a lot of million. It was a lot of freaking million, and you wonder why Nintendo's not in the game anymore. Like as one of like the headhunters, is why. Speaking of Nintendo has assured that they will have enough Super Nintendo NESs in stock.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's a bunch of stores that you can look at that actually show that they're going to be getting new shipments in pretty soon, and a lot of them. As I drop my device, they're going to have a lot of them. Some might have actually hundreds. So, like I said a few weeks ago, it's coming. Don't spend hundreds of dollars on eBay because it's going to be coming out in stores. It might actually already be in certain locations.
Are you buying it?
If I can ever come up with the money, yeah, it might be something that might happen a long time from now if I get a bonus or something. But I do plan on getting it eventually.
My question is I wonder if they're going to be out for Black Friday or Brown Thursday. Yes, there is a Brown Thursday. Me and my wife went shopping on Brown Thursday. And then that's actually on Thanksgiving. But I'm wondering if they're going to have like them out for Black Friday or anything like that. Just curious.
That would be interesting.
It would be smart.
That would be very interesting.
It would be smart. It would be smart. But then again, a lot of places have not been making business smart
business decisions, yeah.
No, they really haven't. But yeah, so, I don't know. I think
it's funny that people are suing Nintendo, a company that's biggest thing has been mobile gaming devices for a mobile gaming system, what they're known for. You're suing a company that's better at doing mobile than anybody else for the mobile idea? Really? Like, come on, let's just use a little bit of common sense here. Like, if they're the first ones to do it and make it right just in general, what right does anybody else have to sue them over a mobile console, since that's always been their thing?
Yeah, Kudok said a Brown Thursday.
Drops the mic.
Yeah, I know. No, seriously, I agree with you. Like, I don't... because... You know why people sue? Because they see Nintendo's easy to get money from.
Oh, I know why they do it, but I'm just trying to put it out there that use common sense. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't sue a company that's been doing this forever over something that you're just kind of butthurt about. You're just trying to get money out of them. And I really hope there's no judge that's that's not knowledgeable enough to see that this is a bad pattern and to just dismiss this altogether.
Nintendo is fighting back, though. On other news, Nintendo is fighting back. there was a kid that found a way to make Mario 64 online.
Oh, I saw that.
And and they were like walking around, and I think he had like up to like a 20 people like in one lobby, and they were just like walking around the Mario castle. um
Hmm.
and but apparently Nintendo has made them take off the videos, and made him get rid of his Patreon and everything, because I guess he was making money off of it. And
He might have been. I'm not sure.
yeah, I think that's what it was. Like, people were paying him to like either do it for them or something like that. So yeah, Nintendo, put a stop into that real quick. Now, it kind of sucks, but I understand why they did it. I mean, I think that would be a cool thing for Mario to do. Um,
Hmm.
you know, Especially Mario 64.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
oh, speaking of which, did you watch that video that I sent you about the 64, or the 10 things you could do with your 64 that you didn't know?
Oh yeah. I did see that, and I did see the online thing, and that. Yeah, I never knew that. I
Yeah,
had no idea that was ever a thing.
yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
That is pretty cool.
It blew my mind. It blew my mind. Also, what blew my mind was how you could play the Nintendo 64 Pokemon game, or not no, you could play a Game Boy Color game on your Nintendo 64, but it was with it was only
Yeah, an attachment.
yeah, the attachment thing, which I thought was really
Mhm.
cool too myself. Um,
Yeah. That
yeah,
was really cool.
yeah,
Actually, N64 actually had, well, actually, not even just N64, but there are a lot of things about the older systems that you could do, but you didn't get options for, because there were things that were either in other countries, or you had to buy something online. For example, something that a lot of people don't know is that for Final Fantasy VIII, the only way that you could do, I think it was like the Chocobo side quest or something like that, was you had to buy a pocket station, but it wasn't something that you could buy here in the States. You had to literally buy it off of eBay or something like that in order to get it, which I thought was kind of stupid. Like, why would you put something in a game that can't even be sold in that
yeah,
area?
yeah.
Like, it didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, there's all kinds of little Easter eggs in a lot of the older
I
systems that a
wish
lot
that.
of people don't even know.
Oh, speaking of Easter eggs, there's actually an Easter egg in the Nintendo Switch. Actually, did you know about it?
Was that again?
There's an Easter egg in the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, what's that?
Basically, the maker of Nintendo, the guy that died on
Mm-hmm.
July 22, I think it's going to be July 22 of this year. You have to press the Joy Cons, like, you know how he makes his motion up in the air with his hands up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, and this is no joke. There's YouTube videos everywhere. Just search it. Um, if you do that on July 22nd, they've already found it in the code. If you do this on July 22nd, you will be able to play the game that he first created for Nintendo himself. Was that golf game, and you'll get
Oh, I did see that. You're
yeah,
right. I do remember that.
yeah,
Okay,
and you get to play the 16-bit version of golf. I thought that was really
that's
freaking.
right.
I thought that was really
That is
cool.
actually pretty cool. And like these little Easter eggs like that, that just makes the gaming industry just pretty cool and interesting. Just small things that you just wouldn't get normally.
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of Easter eggs, I'll give y'all one more Easter egg, and you probably forgot about this Easter egg. But on the PlayStation 1, there was a game called Monster Rancher. And
Oh yes, I love that game.
oh, it was a good game. It was when we first started getting into cards, and
I still have it actually.
oh yes, I love that game. It was basically a card trading game, but it was on console, and you would unlock these certain cards. Well, what me and OG accidentally found out one day was if you put an audio disc um, in your PlayStation 1 while the game was on, it would give you a card for each CD you
Yep.
put in. And depending on what CD you put in or what kind of CD you put in, you would get a card. It was really freaking cool. And back then, that
As
was
a matter of fact, something that a lot of people didn't know, I didn't even many years later after I stopped playing the game, there was apparently a specific card that you could only get through a specific CD. I don't remember what the CD was. I think it was some kind of rock CD, but I can't think of what it was. But if you put in a certain rock CD, it gave you like a specific card that was supposedly really, really rare or something like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I
Yeah,
actually really like
yeah,
that.
definitely.
And trust me, I put lots of CDs
Yeah,
in there.
it was
Um,
back when we had a bunch of CDs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we got to the point to where like music companies were making money just because of Monster Rancher. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I know it was pretty cool. I was wondering why why Monster Rancher never took off, man, and why all these other games did. But
I don't think card games, as far as on console, was nearly as popular. And one of the things about the game that I personally didn't like, and that could have been what turned people off, is that you really couldn't play against each other directly. Because if you
oh
remember, it
yeah,
had a multiplayer, but you couldn't play against each other. You had to play against a computer of someone that you chose or whatever.
that's true.
So there really wasn't a legitimate multiplayer, and I think that's why it flopped.
That's true. That's true. And but back in the Yu-Gi-Oh days, either when they had the Yu-Gi-Oh for the console, it wasn't
Well,
good.
the reason that the Yu-Gi-Oh game took off so well is because if you bought the original version, it came with a collectible card that you could use in the actual card game itself. That's why it had more of a push because not everybody was buying it for the game itself. They were buying it to get the cards that were exclusive to that game.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Hellboy? What's good, man? Sorry, I know the title says I'm playing Fortnite, but the Twitch thing didn't update for some reason. I actually hit the update so many flipping times, but it didn't do it. And here's another thing I want to talk about. People are kind of upset that PlayStation is not making their own version of their handheld system like the Switch. I'm just gonna like drop the mic right here and tell you you can play your PlayStation 4 games on your cell phone, which makes it portable. All you have to do is set up your remote play on your PlayStation 4, and yeah, you can take your game with you and play your PlayStation 4 game. All you have to do is just be on this. I think, I think you have to be on a Wi-Fi connection. I don't know if you have to be on the same Wi-Fi connection, but yeah, I can literally play Fortnite on my cell phone if I want to. So but yeah, people are mad that PlayStation's not making their own um like a new
Mobile
version
console.
mobile call. But I mean, in my opinion, the Vita's still relevant. In my opinion, actually, the Vita is more popular now than ever. In fact, if you have PlayStation Plus right now, you get a free game for the PlayStation 4, a free game for the PlayStation 3, and a free game for the PlayStation Vita. So why? Why do we need a new console? Why? I mean, why do we need a
Well,
new
why would
console?
they need to do a handheld? Yeah, I don't think that Sony needs to do that. I mean, Sony is good where it is. It knows what it's good at, and it's sticking to it. There's no reason to go deep into something that they don't need to. They don't need to be Nintendo. You know what I
No,
mean?
no,
I
no.
mean, Nintendo's already proven that they don't even care about the competition. So why should the competition care about Nintendo? Let everybody kind of do their own thing. Let Sony and Microsoft duke it out. And their whole console wars and the whole teraflop. And let that be a thing.
And the next question I'm gonna ask, because I'm pretty sure you don't have nothing else, and I'm pretty sure after
No, you're
this,
good.
I'm pretty sure after this question we can end it. But this is for everybody. This is for everybody. It's not a debatable question. Well, I guess it kind of is, but it's not gonna be no crazy heated debate. Do you think Netflix for gaming is the next big thing, and do you think it's a good thing, and why?
So, do I think Netflix for gaming is a
Well,
good thing?
I mean, it's not gonna be called Netflix for gaming, but okay. So basically, like you know how Netflix has like movies on demand, and you can like stream them and watch them, and you know how
Hmm.
PlayStation Now, yeah, how you have PlayStation Now. Well, people are
Right.
saying that that's gonna be the new thing, where like you're not even gonna be downloading the games, you can just get services and you can just stream them. Do you think that's going to be the new wave? Do you think that's going to be the new thing? And if so, do you think it's good for the gaming industry, bad, and why?
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way: if this became a thing, I think that it would be popular amongst the newer, younger generation because the newer generation is more about streaming things as opposed to having a hard copy of anything. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, for the new generation, that's going to be very legit. To some of us old farts that like to say like actually collect something that have value, bragging rights to say that I have it, they're not going to necessarily be as excited about it because they're going to see the fact that one, I have no, way to prove anything, no bragging rights, and two, just because you can stream something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the best quality all the time. Because one of the biggest issues with streaming a game is that you are going to have lag. I talked about it, a few weeks back when we were doing PlayStation Now, that there were certain times where the game did lag that we were playing,
Mm-hmm.
and no one wants to have to deal with lag. So
Mm-hmm.
streaming can be a thing, but if it's going to be a thing, they need to make sure that they work on that lag issue. And I don't know if that's something that's doable or not. I still think that gamers should have the option of having a disc so they don't have to worry about lag.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think that it should be a standalone thing. But as an option for people, I see no problem with it. For those who don't particularly care about the lag and are always willing to put up with it, sure, it's going to be fine. I just don't want it to be standalone. I
Right.
still want to have the option to have the digital copy either downloaded or just the actual hard CD in hand, whichever the case
Mm-hmm.
is. Because let's say your internet goes down, you can't play.
No, that's very true. But I mean that's where I'm at anyway right now. I mean, I play mostly online games,
Hmm.
so I mean, if my internet goes down, I can't play anyway. So I get that, and so I agree with you, but here's where I think where it benefits. Okay,
Hmm.
um, I think it would get more people playing the games. I think it would get more people playing the triple A titles. And DB, I see your comment. The only thing I can say about that is that was a third party company. Um, I I think PlayStation Now does really well as far as I think it's a little expensive. That's why I'm not getting into it. And
Hmm.
like you said, for the lag and everything like that you would deal with, $20 a month to me is a little too much. But you don't pay for PlayStation Plus, so I guess that's where you benefit. Um, but I think it would get more people playing the games, and I think the reason why I think the hardest thing that people don't play as many games as much as games as they want to is because they're stuck with like, oh well, what game do I uninstall so I can download this game? Well, if you're streaming the
Hmm.
game, you don't have to download anything, correct? Or when you play the
That is
game,
correct.
you don't have to download nothing. So that again, you got more people playing more games. You got more people playing more games more often, um, and I think it would benefit games that are the same games over and over and over again, like Madden, for instance, or for like the NBA games.
Mhm.
I think it would get more people playing them. Um,
It would. Now there is a little bit of download that it does take, for certain things like specific updates and whatnot, but it's not as big of a file as the actual game itself. So
right.
it doesn't eliminate memory; it just lowers it significantly, which still helps out a lot.
Right, you're not downloading like what Fortnite was like 12 gigs. Like Fortnite to me, Fortnite Battle Royale would be a perfect stream game. You see what I'm saying? It's
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? Games like that. Now I would, it would give me as a streamer be able to more to test games out. And for people that maybe not necessarily have the um the ways of getting out and driving or anything.
mm,
Yes, they can buy the physical copy, but like you said, they may not have a 3 terabyte hard drive. Like for instance, right
mm,
now, like if I want to play a new game, for instance, like the new game, even though I talked a lot of crap about it, the new superhero, um, the new superhero simulator that's coming out on the 28th. I believe that's tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow on the 28th for PlayStation 4. Granted, I can't play it right now because I have no memory on my PlayStation 4. I have to uninstall the game. So now I'm like, well, what game do I uninstall? You see what I'm saying? What game do I uninstall and have to reinstall later? And that's just annoying. And I think that's where it would benefit. I think that's where it would benefit. Granted, I don't like
Yeah.
hard. Go ahead.
No, I mean, honestly, I think it's a good idea. I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I mean, those are all legitimate points. You know, this, like I said, I just think that it should be an option. I don't think that it should be anything that's standalone mandatory.
No.
You know, I think it's a great thing, and I think they should do it. I see nothing wrong with that. It's a good moneymaker for the company and really convenient for the general population, but still let everybody have the option to have the hard copy because, like, for example, with some of the financial situations that I've had to be without cable for or without internet for a while, so I had to play some of my games offline, and thankfully because I had the games installed in my game or I had the CDs or whatever, I was able to play those games without having to be online. So that's kind of where it goes to. If you're ever in a situation where you can't get online, you can't use it. It's really as simple as that.
You,
Or if you just happen to have problems with your internet in general, not because you couldn't afford to pay it, but maybe because their systems are down, because that happens too. Like internet companies have outages.
mm-hmm.
So you're going to have some issues, especially if you're paying for these services and then paying your internet company. Like, you're going to be paying a lot of money to potentially not have the ability to play for a bit, which is kind of annoying.
And that's the great line, right? Because say like you get these services and you only play one game. Well, if you've
Mhm.
only ever played one game, you probably within 4 months you've probably already paid enough to actually own the game and have the game yourself. If
Right.
you think about it, but I mean, if you're somebody that wants to play a lot of different games, then I think that's where it benefit you. Now the next question is, because right now you don't correct, you don't have a lot of AAA titles on, like a lot of
No.
newer titles on the PlayStation now. So
No.
my question is to you: how do you think they should add AAA titles? And if so, how do you think they should do it? Should they just add it as a PlayStation Store thing, or should they do it by company? Like, should each company have their own subscription service, like Capcom or you know what's the other ones? I can't think of other ones right now.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like either Capcom, EA, Square Enix, things like that. Should they have their own service or whatever? I don't know. I think that makes things a little more complicated. I like the idea of just putting everything on either PlayStation Now or Xbox Live, or PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, whatever the case is, to where you could just buy, the games right out if they're, new titles. But for those who don't want to pay, $60 at one time or 80 or whatever the cost for a certain game might be, and just want to play it when, later on in life, it's perfectly fine because it's just like Netflix. With Netflix, you don't always see the new stuff right when it releases. You
That's
have to
very
wait a
true.
while.
That's
So
very true.
Netflix is always behind anyway. So why should PlayStation Now do anything different? Because it's the same thing as Netflix. You don't necessarily play all the new titles right away, but you're eventually going to be able to play it anyway. As long as you're not in a hurry, you're fine. You're saving money,
That's
and
very
you can
true.
still play a bunch of titles.
That's very true. But then you got games that have been out like what? Overwatch has been out for what? 4 years. See, this is
Not
this.
that long, has it been?
Yes, Overwatch has been out for 3 or 4 years, buddy.
Oh wow, I didn't
Okay.
think it's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
About 3 or 4, maybe I think it's three. It's coming. It's coming on another year. I think so. It's either 3 or 4. I don't know.
I thought it was like 1 or 2 years, but
No,
okay.
no, no, no. Overwatch has been out for a minute.
Okay.
Um, um. So my thing is like when like you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, if that's the case, Overwatch should be already on there. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think that's unfair. You know, although you can play, shout outs to Overwatch, you can play Overwatch free right now. I think it was a free weekend, to play Overwatch for free. But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you know,
I think that there are limits that have to be drawn because just like Netflix, you can't watch every movie that comes out or every show that comes out. Like for example, there's a popular TV series called Survivor. You'll never be able to see that on Netflix. I don't think it's ever been on
Okay.
Netflix. You know what I mean?
DB came with the facts. May 16th of 2016 was Overwatch. So yeah. So,
Okay.
so
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that every game will always appear because, like, I'm just using Netflix as an example because it's a really close narrative. Not every show and every movie is put on Netflix ever. There
uh,
are some things that you'll never see on Netflix, and that's just kind of the thing you have to realize is Netflix is convenient, but you're not going to find everything. There's no provider that's going to be the one source for everything. And if it was the one source for everything, we'd be paying a lot more for it.
corrected my facts. The 24th. Okay, it was the 24th of May. So, but still.
Okay.
So what? We're about to be 2018 soon. So yeah, but my point is like, I don't know. I think it's a good. I think it could be good. I think it could be bad. But
Yeah, I mean, it's good in general. The idea is good, and I'm all for it. I think that, yeah, they can do something like that, but still allow digital copies to be downloaded or hardcore copies to be collected because, again, internet is not always reliable.
yeah,
Servers are not always reliable.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm never buying a hard copy ever again. I buy all my stuff digital, only because discs don't last.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Discs don't
Yeah, there's
last.
nothing wrong with.
I,
Well, this don't last forever, but at the same time, for some people like me, because I'm a collector, I mean, I like having the disc to say that, hey, I got this that no one else has. And sometimes that could put you out of a financial bind because, I once owned Suikoden 2, which is a very, very expensive game. And because I was in a bad scenario, I was able to sell it off for a good chunk of change. I'm not going to go into how much it was, but I was able to sell it for a good chunk of change to help me out of a bad scenario because it had so much value. So there is value in having a hard copy of the game, especially if it's one of those games that nobody has anymore and somebody wants. Years down the line, you can make good money off of it, even though yeah, it's a disc. But some people take good care of it, and as long as you don't overuse the crap out of it, you'll be fine. You know, so
yeah,
it's just a matter of how you treat it.
and that's one reason why I don't go to GameStop. Like I have 30 games that I can get rid of right now for GameStop.
Hmm.
But like, here's the thing: you can get digital codes for GameStop. Here's what I found really funny:
Hmm.
you can buy digital codes from GameStop online, you know,
Hmm.
out of your pocket, but you can't use your trade credit towards a digital code for a game.
Hmm.
So, and I'm like, well, I'm not buying a physical copy. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know. But that's the one reason why I don't go to GameStop. Like I got NBA 2K16, all these other games for both systems. I got physical copies for both systems that I just don't play. But I just don't get rid of them because if I want to put them towards anything, it's got to be a physical copy, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know, and when you got kids, physical copies don't last. I'm just being honest. That's what happened to my Black Ops 3, and that's why I don't.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Yeah. If you have kids and you don't have like a good way to, I guess, lock it up to where they can't get to it, and especially if you leave it out, yeah, you're gonna have some issues. So
Yep.
yeah, it depends on your situation. Anytime that you have family, it throws everything off.
Yeah, exactly. Kids always do every freaking time. Trust me.
Mm.
But without that though, that's my episode or what I got to say. I don't know if you got anything else to say.
No, I think we're pretty solid for today.
Cool, cool, cool. I want to apologize again on behalf of Twitch's air. Next time I'll double check. It's kind of hard for me to double check because it only shows me when it goes live. But I know I updated the title. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extract the video. I'm gonna extract the video, and then upload it to YouTube under the original title. So again, I apologize for if you guys are here seeing Fortnite. I will be playing Fortnite, but I will not be streaming it. Oh, Crew fixed it. Oh, thank you, Crew Dog. You're so awesome. Crew Dog is the man. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Crew Dizzle. But I will be playing Fortnite today. I'm gonna be making a video Actually, Fortnite got me my most views on YouTube right now this
Nice.
week. Um, this week, I'm up to 18 views. So people are liking my Fortnite content.
Good.
I also let me share something with you guys for you guys that are a little hesitant to make YouTube content. I need to. We haven't done a tip in a while, so I'm just gonna throw this tip. Now, granted,
Hmm.
I have Sony Vegas um on my other laptop, and I know how to do all that stuff, do all the thumbnails. But I figured out how to create YouTube thumbnails on PlayStation. They actually have a software for PlayStation that allows you to create. You can create GIFs for Twitter. You can create thumbnails for YouTube. You can create all kinds of things. And all you got to do is just use your capture system that's already built in your PlayStation. Um, so, uh, but um, definitely. So if you guys are like saying, well, I want to create this, I want to do this, but I don't have this, or this costs too much money, you can definitely do it just from your PlayStation. You can even create YouTube videos straight from your PlayStation. Not long ones, but you can do it. So just
Yeah.
throwing that out there. Throwing that out there. And you need no software needed. So throwing that out there. Other
Well,
than
legitimate.
yep, pretty legitimate. Other than that, I'm good. If you don't got anything else to say, go ahead and take us out, man.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks again for listening to another episode of the OG Tubecast. We'll be back again next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central. And of course, talking about your latest and greatest in video gaming news and other randomness that may pop up here and there throughout the week. Just, watch out for Handy Kill Cam both on YouTube and Twitch. And then sometime this week, I should be back into making some more videos on YouTube as well for mobile gaming. So just check us out. I'm OG Crunkster. He is Handy Kill Cam. And don't forget that he will be doing Able Gamers tomorrow, I believe, on Thursdays, like always. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Absolutely. So, check that out as well. And y'all take it easy.
Take it easy. Okay.